muted. And then again, we are recording this session. Welcome. I'm Reno Medina, the principal of La Casa Canyon High School. And joining us today are our administrative team, Mr. Fletez, Bobby Coy, Jamie Garman, and also our program supervisor for special education, Mr. Jesse Midland. And our VIP of the day is our ASB president, Carson Robles. Carson, thank you for joining us today as well. And again, always good to see some familiar faces in here, some longtime LCC families, and we just want to thank you for being here today. We do have an agenda today to kind of get through. Thank you for submitting your questions ahead of time, so we will make sure we address those. So if you want to go to the next slide, please. Before we get into our agenda, Dr. Coy is going to lead us in our sheepish sort of welcoming ritual. So, Dr. Coy, in your genius mind, take it away.
Thank you for entertaining me, Mr. Medina, and allowing my sense of humor to shine this morning. But a quick check-in with our team, as we often do, to see how people are feeling. We don't want to ambush you, of course, but how are you feeling this morning, good or bad? Thank you, Jesse, for acknowledging my pun. I could see that in your eyes. Just a quick 1 through 9. Where are you this morning in the chat box? Please, if you could, go ahead and put that in there. No need to be sheepish, of course, knowing that it's Friday. How are we feeling using our scale of sheep? Carson's a 9. Yes, absolutely. I'm wondering if there's any 4s out there. Solid 8. I love it.
I too am a 9.
And of course, it's always good to be punny when you can. So, let's get up. Jesse, I know, like Jesse's in pain having to endure this, but this is who I am. As a former English teacher, words are important. So thank you for playing along. You are great people. Now I'm a 4.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Coy, and thank you, families, for participating with us. So as always, students first, that's the motto here. We want to make sure our students are shining. So we'll have an ASB report. We'll cover some athletics. We're in AP season, so Dr. Coy will cover some AP exams, and we'll give a brief IB update as well. We'll talk about the learning model that's currently happening, and then what the 21-22 school year is going to look like. We're really excited about that. And then also senior activities to include prom and graduation, and how we are working with our seniors to finish with a real big celebration for them. It's been a tough year, so we want to make sure we're honoring them. And then also we are going to cover some of our suicide prevention work that we've been doing with our teachers, and so we're going to be doing with students next week. And then we'll cover some upcoming events that are coming up so that people are aware of what to look forward to. And then after all of that, we will do some Q&A with our families. So without further ado, we're going to turn it over to our ASB president, Carson Robles. Carson, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. So I'm just going to report first on last week. It was our rival week against Torrey Pines. We do this every year, leading up to the Torrey Pines game. And obviously this year is at different times than it normally is, just because of the season pushback. But last week we were able to have our Torrey Pines football game, and we had a pep rally before that. We were very fortunate to have the last 2 home games, enough tickets allocated for our senior class. So it gave the seniors the opportunity to, go to their last home football games of high school. Personally speaking, I really enjoyed this experience, and I know that my friends did too. So we're really thankful for the coordination behind that, and kind of reallocating the tickets so that, the seniors can get ones. And then also last week we had another senior lunch. I think we had over 300 sandwiches that were given out. We had a lot of parent and teacher staff volunteers there helping out. So once again, I want to thank them for being there and helping out make that run smoothly. And then today is the last day to vote for our ASB elections for the 21-22 school year. Campaigning week was this whole week, and people that are running for officer positions were able to campaign virtually and on campus with posters and whatnot. And like I said, voting ends today with that. So We should have our new ASB leaders announced this weekend before the next week. So we're, as an ASB class, really excited for that. And obviously, as we look into the next school year and hopefully having more of a presence here on campus, I know that the people that are running are very excited for the challenge and excited to get our students connected again back to in the next school year. And then another thing that's going on today in our ASB class, Principal Medina will be joining us to kind of talk to our ASB class about what will be discussed to you guys later, which is kind of just logistics, ideas, and planning on graduations, some sort of prom, and some senior celebrations as we wrap up to the end of the school year. So we'll be meeting with him today as an ASB class, and then we're hoping to on Monday have some type of open forum meeting that seniors are able to join virtually and here on campus to kind of give their input, ideas, and kind of hear what administration has as far as like how we can follow the guidelines and do things that we want to do to celebrate our last year here. So we're really excited for that. And then today is also the last day to purchase merch for our ASB spring merch drop. And I'm going to put the link in the chat. I actually just purchased one of mine a couple of days ago, which is like the green army hoodie color. So if you guys want to check out our merch, it's in that link right there. And today's the last day to order it, and then all the shipments go out in a week from now. So yeah, and then we do have a sign up genius right now going around for our seniors, and we have on May 5th, we're going to be it's a Wednesday, a Wellness Wednesday, and we're looking forward to doing our legacy senior tiles, as well as we're kind of going to make that like a decision commitment, like future day. So we're going to have the map up. If for those of you that don't know, the seniors every year have the opportunity to put a little pin on a huge map of our of our country, and students get to put their pin, like where they're going to next year. It could be college, it could be, trade school, just anything on the map, they put it on, and kind of gives like a big visual of, where seniors are going next year. And it's a really exciting day. And we're also really fortunate to be able to do that again this year. So we're going to be promoting that a lot today and at the beginning of the next week, but look out for that. And that'll be, like I said, taking place on May 5th, and it's a Wednesday. So we're really excited for that day. Other than that, that's all I got. Thank you for letting me come here and give you guys some updates. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your days.
Awesome, Carson. Thank you so much. As always, we value your leadership with our students and just navigating the waters this year. You've done an outstanding job, and we applaud you for that. So keep up the good work. You've got a lot of energy to bring people to you, and you're keeping your student body going. So we appreciate that. And thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Yep. As Carson says, as we brought more kids back to campus, this place has come back to life. Last Friday night was amazing, just to watch all the seniors together and music, and we had the band play for the first time this year. Cheer, dance, we celebrated the seniors on the field. So again, this is bringing LCC back to life. It's nice to see kids back, and we're stoked about that. So. All right, let's move on to our next slide. And speaking of athletics, we're going to turn over to Mr. Leo Fletes. Leo.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, both Carson and Mr. Medina stole a little bit of my thunder talking about, last Friday night's football game versus Torrey Pines. Great event. It was amazing. It was, seeing the kids on campus, and it's been great seeing kids on campus every day, and specifically these last 2 weeks when we've had darn close to 800 kids on campus every day. It feels a little normal, as normal can be. But to have our kids at the football game on Friday night, thank you to all the parents. They kind of gave up a little bit of their tickets for the football parents and the cheer parents and the dance parents to give up a little bit of their tickets so our seniors can enjoy that one last Torrey Pines rivalry game. So it was great. We had the opportunity to, like Mr. Medina said, have dance out there, cheer, band, and obviously the football team. And we recognized all of them right before the football game. So they had that opportunity to be out there and be recognized by their peers, by coaches, by the fans, everybody else that was there, and they got a little bit of kudos and, quick photo opportunities. So it was great. It seemed normal for whatever normal is these days. It seemed a little normal for us. So that was great. It was great to see, and put a kind of a nice little bow on our football season as we finished it off last week. And no playoffs this year for football. But we finished it on a good, positive, high note for the kids. And that's really what we're all here for. I did want to mention again, season 1 has been completed. Football, field hockey, among other sports. Some of them are going all year, cross country, that type of thing. Gymnastics is finishing up as well. They're putting a bow on their season and moving forward. And right now we're deep into season 2 for boys and girls. If you want to come and see an athletic event, we've got 3 or 4 of them going every single day. We're here. Just last night alone, we had, volleyball, we had lacrosse, we had softball. And again, we will continue in having soccer and boys basketball tonight. So it's never slows down around here. And it's kind of neat because the kids are enjoying themselves. They're having a great time. They're showing up. And I know that the question was, well, can I go? Can I see? Well, just so you know, we have capacity numbers based on guidance. And in our outdoor areas, our capacity as of right now, and of course things change, as you all know, where we can be at up to 33% outside in our capacity in the stadium. So please feel free, if to come down. We haven't reached that capacity other than a football game. So we have a little bit of room there for you. Inside the gym, we're at a 25% capacity. That one we're monitoring a little closer because we want to make sure that our parents of the players are actually the ones that are getting inside the gym and being able to watch their volleyball players or their wrestling players or their basketball kids. So we want to make sure we definitely monitor that. But guidance might open it up a little bit for us, and if it does, we'll definitely put that in the e-news for those families. But we're at about a 25% capacity that we can be at right now. So we got that going, and then we just started our boys and girls water polo program. I think they're the last ones to get started for the year, so they've been hitting the pool pretty hard already, getting ready to be up and running, and then that puts all of our programs in play for this year. So it's been exciting, and it brings a little bit of a sense of normalcy to our students, to our programs, to our coaches. A lot of teachers out there, watching games and wanting to be involved and wanting to see what's going on. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been real good for our kids. I've put in their baseball championship tonight. Our baseball program has done a great job. They've been in 3 different tournaments and have been this is their end of their 3rd tournament, and they've been in the championship game in every one of their tournaments. So I had a big game against the number 1 team in the state of California, Rancho Bernardo, on Wednesday, I think it was. The days meshed together. Versus Rancho Bernardo. It was a great game, a lot of intensity, and we ended up winning clutch hit at the bottom of the 6th inning to win 3-1 versus the number 1 team in California. And so our reward by being in the championship, we get to play them again. So we played them this afternoon down in Rancho Bernardo. So it'll be fun. So the boys are super excited about that. We had a really good crowd that day. The one thing that I will add, as I mentioned, the word crowd, is if you do come to any of our events, please remember, it is for the kids, and we want to make sure that you are socially distanced and wearing your masks. It's what's going to keep us healthy, and it's what's going to keep us going, and it's what's going to allow us to continue to have fans and potentially more fans in the stands. So if you come to a game, please, if you have the opportunity, do so, especially outside. But please make sure that you do wear your mask, because it is important for the health of our kids and for us to continue our programs and let them continue to compete. That's what we're about. That's what we want. So again, I would just add that little disclaimer in there. Every year we put together, through the sports programs, we put together a physical fundraiser, and we're currently working on that. We'll share more information in the e-news. And basically what that is, of course, as you all know, or maybe you don't, that whenever you play athletics, you have to have a physical before you're cleared to play. And oftentimes, and it's good for a year. And so oftentimes what happens is You're running around trying to find a doctor, trying to get that cleared. You may run over to, to an emergency center to get it done at the last minute. We try to do a physical fundraiser towards the end of every year that really lasts through the entire next year. So we're getting the approval on that. We're working hard to make sure that we're working with our foundation on that to make sure that that can happen. Again, socially distanced and masked up, so that we're just trying to work out the logistics for that. But keep an eye on that. That should be coming out in the e-news. And if it's an opportunity to give back, the doctors donate their time. So it ends up, all that money ends up going back to the athletic program. And it helps out a lot of the different things that we need to do for the athletic program, whether it's, new dirt on the baseball field or a new fence in track and field to get our shot put area fixed up. So it really helps out. So again, something to put on your calendar or keep an eye on, at least on the e-news, to make sure that you can help support us in that fashion. That'd be great. And then the last thing that I really have is just the student athletes are having a great time. And it's great to see so many of them not only competing, but now that they've competed, they haven't really been here all year, but now they're showing up to school and they're having a great time and they're with their friends. And really, that's what we're about. I mean, that's why, the four of us do what we do every day is for the kids, is to make sure that we're around kids and making sure that we're celebrating them. And you hear that a lot, that we just really want to celebrate our students and our athletes. And it's great to have them on campus, and it's great to support them out in the gym or on the ball field. So continue supporting us. We're getting there. We've got a couple of weeks left, but we're going strong. So Mr. Medina, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Fletes. I appreciate it. It's amazing to see these guys, these girls and boys perform on the field and on the court. So thank you very much. All right, let's move on to our next topic, AP examinations. Dr. Coy, let's hear from you.
Absolutely. This is definitely one of my favorite times of year, is when AP exams begin. And I know that sounds silly, but as a former AP English teacher, it's that opportunity for our students to shine academically, to demonstrate the knowledge that they've been accruing all school year. And so we look forward to a successful AP exam run here. It's going to be significantly different this year, that of course everything is, than in years past. The exam window will begin May 3rd. And rather than just a brief 2-week run, that's going to be going through June 10th, possibly, if students have makeup exams or they need to take exams at different times. So quite a large window. I'll be sending out an AP exam schedule early next week so that you guys have that awareness and but all students who are taking exams have been notified regarding their AP exam schedule. Several exams will be taking place here on campus: chem, physics, Spanish, calculus, and statistics. The reason for those is that one of them, the Spanish test, is required to be on campus. And then the other exams, because they're so math heavy, allowing the students the chance to do them by hand instead of having to type in all the calculations just makes it a little bit easier for them. And then all other exams are virtual, will be taking place at home. And so we'll have information coming out to parents, and we've been regularly communicating with our students to remind them about these upcoming opportunities to earn college credit for the coursework that they've completed here at LCC. In addition, some quick comments on the learning model. Our teachers are doing an incredible job right now. They are serving all students, not just the students who are here on campus, but our students at home. I love the terminology that we're hearing out there. A lot of teachers are using the expression that they have two types of students. They're roomies, those who are present on campus, or they're homies or zoomies, those that they're serving at home. But our teachers are indeed welcoming, engaging, and supporting LCC students. It's a difficult model, but it's awesome to be in the classrooms and to see the students not just learning here on campus. As Mr. Fletes said, there's a number of them here each day, but also engaging those students at home in the high quality education that our district has come to represent. And so we're proud of the work that's happening, and we're proud of the students that are here, and proud of those students who are at home logging in each day, participating in the activities, breakout rooms, etc. Also, we know that there's some talk about students taking quizzes at school versus taking quizzes at home. Our teachers are constantly adapting to the updating of the educational model, serving both We know that there can be challenges of serving both groups at each time, but as that challenge continues, our teachers are doing their best to ensure that the assessment process is fair and equitable for all students that are involved. So, of course, we do look forward to next school year, and I'll allow Mr. Medina to talk about that here in a few moments. But we're proud of the teaching that's happening. There's an energy here on campus. It's remarkable to see the change in just a few weeks. So, go Mavs!
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Coy. And we know that like regular normal times, each classroom does look different. We have teachers who are highly skilled and engaged and able to work their magic in both the classroom and at home. And then we have teachers who are learning strategies, who are adapting over the course of time. So it's progression. We know that some classes are different, but again, our constant goal is to welcome, engage, and support all students, both at home and school. That's what we've been sharing with our teachers, and people are coming along, and we know that people are moving a little faster than others. But this is difficult. Our teachers, as you guys know, are up all hours of the evening planning for both home and school. So we just applaud our teachers and appreciate all of your patience as we go through this challenging time. And looking forward to next school year, which is a perfect segue to our the next slide is the plan for next school year is we are going to be on a different instructional calendar. This calendar is going to start school a bit earlier. And so this was rolled out last year and talked about that we would roll it out in the 21-22 school year. Dr. Greer, can you click on that link? Is that live? Or so just so you know, we will start school in August, probably a week or two earlier. And the first semester will end before we go off to winter break. So kind of aligns with what the rest of the country is doing. It looks like the first day of school, go back to August, there we go, is August 17th. So as you can see, when we come back, our teachers will have a shorter summer. So for those teachers who are in this call, we all know that we're all going to be hitting the ground running again, and our students are going to have a shorter summer as well. So with all that said, the restart to the school year will look different. We're going to have kids who haven't been on campus for over a year, and we want to make sure that we acclimate them back and support a culture on campus that embraces their transition back to the physical campus. So again, August 17th is the start of the school year. The first semester ends, I think it's December 23rd or something like that. And so on December 23rd, it is the 23rd. That's going to be the end of the first semester, and kids are not going to have to worry about anything in terms of schoolwork over the winter break, and they come back in January and they start second semester. So that's the big shift in the calendar. We will post this on our website so families out there can start planning ahead, in terms of whatever vacations they want to do, college visits, etc. So that will be on our website after our coffee today. We'll put it in a button form like we've put our bell schedule for next year as well. So if we have questions about that, we'll hit those in the Q&A, but we wanted to make sure we reviewed the new instructional calendar coming out for the 21-22 school year. And again, the instructional model, what it will look like, we're going to go back to the way things were in terms of 5 days a week in-person instruction. And so we're very excited about that, just to get back to what we know how to do really, really well, and just hit the ground running with that. And there is in the works a virtual option for students. More details to come for those students who may have some medical exemptions, etc. So once we get more details from the district office, we'll be sure to share out the option to our community as well. And then the 21-22 belt schedule, we'll just keep reminding people that it is a rotating block. The big difference here is that period 1 will meet every day. And we're looking forward to that period being, it's going to not only have most courses available, but a lot of our targeted intervention support courses are going to work nicely there to support students on a daily basis. So we're really looking forward to that. We're looking forward to building in our master schedule next year some targeted intervention to support some learning loss that has happened over the course of this pandemic. So planning ahead, that's the work we've been doing with our counselors and our teachers and with our district office in terms of finding a nice supportive schedule and course offerings for students that will support their education. So also this Bell schedule will support our social emotional learning as we're doing this year. But if you look on Mondays, it's kind of a collaboration day for staff. So it's gets out a little bit earlier, and then we have our Mad Nation days on a B schedule where we'll show Mad Nation. There'll be some time for students to connect with teachers and just getting back to the way we used to operate on a rotating block every single day with instruction and supporting our students both in the classroom and with their social emotional wellness. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. And we're going to get into, as Carson talked about earlier, prom, graduation, and all that stuff. We want to make sure our seniors are celebrated. We will do something. I will turn it over to Ms. Garman, and she will take it from here, and we'll go from there.
All right, so prom. The unfortunate part, our current guidelines do not allow for a traditional prom-like function. There's a lot of restrictions on the maximum capacities as well as assigned seating to mitigate any exposure. Intermingling, aka dancing, is very limited to none. And this is guidelines that we have to follow no matter what venue, whether it be outside of our school or on our campus. However, we want to celebrate our seniors. We want to have them have an opportunity to be together, to celebrate each other. And so we're going to work with our students. And Carson mentioned this, and I think Mr. Medina mentioned this as well, but we're going to go speak to our students beginning in ASB today, but opening it up to our seniors to come join us to give us feedback on what they would like to see, so that we can be creative and come up with a way to celebrate our seniors, but also keep them safe and healthy. So we as adults often think we know what they would like, and we know that that's not necessarily true. So we really want to just hear the feedback from our seniors and be creative on how we can really celebrate them, bring them together, and also be very, very careful, because we know that at the end of the year, any spreading of COVID could be detrimental to a student participating in our in-person graduation. So we really want to make sure that we're following the guidelines to keep our kids healthy. Moving into graduation, we are planning the in-person graduation in our stadium. We are monitoring all of the guidance that is put in place. There's definitely going to be some differences this year because there are things like capacity that we have to follow. And so the other difference is assigned seating, which we've never done. And we also have to be cognizant of the intermingling and having there be as little exposure and passing, obviously, any COVID from person to person. We have to follow the mitigating measures. So we're going to be obviously putting in a little bit of some barriers to what we have traditionally done, but we want to make sure everyone is safe and healthy. We did do a preliminary kind of interest survey, and the exciting thing is the majority of our students are really excited to participate and are able to participate in person. So we do want to make sure that if anyone's not able to, for any reason, that we also have a live stream opportunity, that all students' names are read and recognized as part of our class. And so we will make sure that that is also available. So that's a little bit different than what we've been offering in the past. But we are constantly monitoring the changes in our guidelines when it comes to guests being allowed due to our capacities. Everything's moving in the right direction for us to be able to increase the number of guests per graduate. So we're really excited about that. However, we have to monitor it very closely. We have, to begin with, we have said 2 per graduate, which we understand is very difficult on families, just to limit it to 2 because everyone wants to be with their grad. However, we do anticipate we'll be able to increase that with everything moving in the right direction. We're really optimistic about that. But of course, we wanted to start out with what we knew our capacity could allow, and make sure that we didn't have to pull back any tickets from families. We would much rather increase that as we are certain that the guidelines will allow it. So we're excited to be able to have our in-person graduation again this year. That is what the students asked for. They wanted an in-person graduation. They wanted to be all together, for at least that one last time, because they have been apart for so long. So we're excited that we're able to do that this year. There'll be plenty more information that will go out to families along the way to make sure, senior families are aware of what we're doing when it comes to, a senior event in place of prom, as well as, with the graduation. As things are improving, we hope to send out positive, communication. More guests are allowed, as well as now having to do assigned seating. We'll be sending out information with regards to that, and we're working to try to make that as an easy, streamlined process as possible. So definitely, excited about all of that that's coming up. We did look at the option of a larger venue for graduation, for example, the Padres Stadium. However, the cost of those venues is quite significant. We also, had a lot of student feedback that they want to be on campus together. This is, their Maverick home, and so, we want to be able to provide that for our students because that's really meaningful for them. But yes, we did look into larger venues. I see that as a question in there. And then Mr. Medina, I saw your hand raised.
Yeah, so thank you, Ms. Garman. Thank you for that wealth of information. Graduation is it's a beast, and so what we want to do is making sure we are celebrating. Ms. Garman shared some things, but just kind of outlining a couple highlights of some of the guidance we do. Is the capacity is the good news is we got word that their capacity is larger than we thought. So like Ms. Garman said, we started with 2. We didn't want to pull back tickets, but we're thinking that we can probably accommodate anywhere between 4 to 6 family members, which is very, very good news. And so we will share that out once we get that finalized. The other piece is part of the guidance is that we have to have some sort of a not truncated, but a shorter celebration ceremony. We can't have 5 or 6 performers, 5 or 6 speakers. The guidance says we need to be a little bit more efficient because of safety protocols. So that's why we are meeting with our seniors about graduation to say, here are limitations. Here's the guidance. What do you want to see in your graduation? So we want that feedback. This is theirs. It's theirs to celebrate. We want their input. And this has been an ongoing process with our seniors in terms of getting their feedback. But right now we have more information, and we're excited to work with them to plan their graduation for them. But just, Ms. Garman and the graduation committee of parents and students have done an amazing job of looking at this. We did look at the Padres Stadium. We're like, wow, it's a one-stop shop. The price tag was a little bit, and the graduation, the only time they had available was Sunday night on I think it was the 13th. So, at that point, people, that was the only option. So we figured, let's listen to our kids. They want to be on campus. They want to be together. So that's why we opted not to take that option. So great question, though. We appreciate that. All right.
So awkward transition, talking about graduation and prom and all of the celebratory pieces. I'm now transitioning to talk about our suicide prevention education. Although not as uplifting, very important and necessary. So in kind of having reflected on the need for this education more than ever with just loss, all unfortunately within the district and districts surrounding us, we have utilized the resource of Stan Collins, who is an amazing consultant, speaker. He is someone that trains in suicide prevention for not only schools, school districts, but also even law enforcement, first responders, and those type of roles. He's an amazing just resource for us. He is often called in, unfortunately, to schools all over the state when they are experiencing a loss. He's been doing this for years, and it was something that he was very passionate about from his own experience of losing a friend in high school. So with working with Stan, we've had the opportunity to start with our teachers and start having these conversations around suicide prevention. And also then moving beyond just discussing suicide prevention, but also training our teachers to hold discussions, facilitate discussions, and allow kind of a safe place for students to talk about suicide prevention and social emotional supports. So we have had the opportunity now to work with Stan, with our teachers. Stan also provided a presentation for our parents and resources for our parents to be able to talk to their students about suicide and prevention. And so basically we have moved from teachers and parents being provided with supports to now moving towards our students. And for parents, there's a presentation from Stan that's available on our website and in our e-news that was recorded, along with a lot of great resources. So we're also going to send out information to parents today, actually, at the end of today, that will also kind of guide some of these discussions, because on Tuesday, our students will participate in hearing from Stan. He's doing a customized presentation, individualized for LCC, that will be presented to all fourth period classes. It will be recorded because of kind of tech challenges and making sure students at home as well as in the classroom are able to access this information. Followed by the presentation from Stan, then the teachers will facilitate classroom discussions. This has been kind of, our teachers have been walked through kind of guiding questions and how to address them, how to provide resources. They'll be sharing resources and reviewing those. And like I said, we'll send out parent resources as well. We want to make sure that not only are our students supported in the classroom, virtually, but also when they come home to you to have follow-up conversations in regards to suicide prevention. So as much as it's not, as celebratory as prom and graduation, it's very, very important for us to have these conversations with our students and to make sure that they know how to look out for themselves, for each other, and who to turn to for help. So we are very, very thankful to be working in partnership with Stan Collins to really bring this piece to our LCC community. And so that will be happening on Tuesday, April 27th in fourth period classes. And so additional information will be sent out to students as well as parents today. We will also have support staff that are available, because we do know that this is definitely a emotional subject that students may need that extra support from a counselor or a school psychologist. So we will have extra support here. We'll also have a place for any student or parent that has requested for their student to opt out for any reason. And we will make sure that we're supporting all of our students through this. Do I see that there is a hand raised? I'm not sure if if I'm getting an old message or if that's someone that has a question or not, but
I think Suzanne Potter has a hand raised. I'm not sure if that's, oh, not anymore.
okay. So anyways, that's what's happening. And we're really thankful and appreciative to be able to offer this.
Thank you, Jamie. And again, it was an interesting transition. We are, really excited for our kids to be back. All the events that we have planned for them, but at the same time, it's been hard on a lot of our kids. So we want to make sure that we are giving our students, we're giving our teachers and our parents the tools to navigate these trying times. And so we think the partnership with parents and working with us to support our kids. So again, thank you to all of you and the LCC community for your support. Upcoming events, progress report grades are available. So if you haven't checked on your students' grades at the 9-week period of this quarter, take a look. And we encourage you to have a conversation with your students about their grades. If they're doing well, just give them encouragement to keep the hard work, finish strong. If they're not doing well, reaching out to teachers, reaching out to us to kind of say, what else can we do to support your kids to finish them off on a successful ending to their 2021 school year. So again, take a look at the grades. Sam Collins will be with students next week, as Ms. Carmen was speaking about. And then the last day to drop a class with a W is on April 29th. A W is a withdrawal on the transcript. And then May 3rd through June 10th, as Dr. Coy covered, is AP testing. And just a note, right now, our IB teachers and IB students are in the middle of, our teachers have turned in predicted grades for students versus the IB. We're not doing the assessment piece, we're doing predicted grades. And then our diploma candidates are now doing their CAS projects, which is a community based project where they write about some things they're doing in the community, and it's applying their learning to actual real life. So that's what's up for them next. We're happy to see our IB program continues to grow. We have our new diploma candidates, they're increasing, and the increase in enrollment of students in IB courses is also happening. So we're proud of that. We're going to keep working hard to make sure that continues to flourish, as well as the rest of our campus as well. And as Carson talked about with May 5th, May 5th is a very special day. It's senior title day for our seniors. They're going to come back, and then it's going to be a celebratory day for decision day for those kids who are going to go on to their post-secondary locations, and we're going to celebrate that. And it happens also to be Mr. Fletch's birthday. So Mr. Fletches, it will be your birthday on May 5th, and we'll celebrate you as well. So with that, I think we're going to turn it over to our Q&A part of our presentation. So parents, thank you for being here. We're happy to take in your questions, and let's go. Everyone's still thinking about their questions, I think. Yes, thank you. The energy is back on campus, and we do see it. And yeah, no, it's amazing. I've had numerous conversations with kids who came back from freshmen to seniors going, I didn't think it was going to be this good, but it's good. I like it. So just to hear that, it just, makes my heart warm. Yes, great question about next year's schedule. So across the board, the state of California, and there's something called AB 86, which has looked at schools and how are we going to mitigate learning loss. And essentially what we're going to do is in our areas of math, English, and our EL population is our district's done a deep dive and looked at those and has allocated additional support for our teachers in terms of sections to be able to, push in support, create targeted interventions. So looking at where we had a universal screener this year that had some test scores that a lot of our students didn't do so well. And whether that was because of lack of interest or they truly had some learning loss, we're going to take a look at those kids and really dive in deep to kind of make sure they have the supports they need in their content area classes. So that will be part of our master schedule building as we're working through it, working with teachers. And Mr. Midland was in the call for our students with special needs. We will be doing some co-teaching for those students. So having a special ed teacher and a general ed teacher in the same class supporting those students. We have that model already, but just kind of expanding it a little bit more. We have our academic survival classes, which help with organization and just a little more direct instruction and one-on-one support in smaller class sizes. So truly, I'm very grateful for the state and for our district to be able to allocate these funds to our school sites across our district, especially here at LCC. And looking forward to supporting students with those resources in our schedule next year. I see there's a question about what percent of teachers have been vaccinated. I don't know the exact percentage, but I can tell you the majority of our teachers on this campus have been vaccinated. So, and again, that's not a figure that I have right off the top of my head, but I know a lot of people have been vaccinated on this campus in terms of our staff. I do see a question about 8th grade students attending LCC. So this is a phenomenon that we're really trying to figure out what is the source of all this. There's way too many variables to kind of generalize why the enrollment for 8th graders coming to LCC this year was down. We're already seeing an uptick in enrollment for next year for some of our incoming 9th graders. So they're trickling back. So in my eyes, we are going to get together and work with our district office. As a leader of this campus, I want to, survey some of those students who have selected otherwise. I know across the state, there has been an immense decrease in students attending public schools. And so I know that is, big because of COVID. Lots of people have left this area. But with that said, I don't want to make any broad generalizations on why that happened. It truly is a phenomenon that we're not understanding. The year before, we had a major increase in 8th graders coming to LCC. So we were, moving in the right direction, and then COVID hit and things have scaled off a little bit. So enrollment is down across our district. We're seeing it in our middle schools as well. So we want to make sure that we're communicating to our public the good things that are happening here at LCC and the hard work that our teachers are doing and the programs that we do offer. So yes, we are going to look into that and work with our district office to see if there's something else that we've missed. If we've missed the mark, then that we shore that up, but definitely want to take a look at that. I'll jump in on the next two questions as well. I may start losing my voice a little bit, but we'll get there. Zoom options for traveling kids next year. We're in-person instruction, so I don't believe that's going to be an option. We're going to get back to doing things that the way we need to do as kids on the campus. I know when you say Zoom option, if kids have a medical exemption of some sort, again, those details haven't been shored up yet, but those are going to be the virtual options for students, and it's going to be all virtual or you're on campus. Again, that particular piece about virtual stuff has not been shored up, so I don't want to speak ahead of that. Once we do get that information, we can share more in detail for that. And then there's a question about only seniors getting into culinary arts. Culinary arts is a very, very popular class on our campus. So, in honor and recognition of our seniors, we do give priorities to our upperclassmen for that class as it feels. We only can offer 7 sections of it because there's only 7 periods in the day, so that is our limitation. And because the facility, there's only one facility to run that class. So with that said, is we like to give priorities for those kids who have not had the course, who are going to be leaving us, and then the lower classmen will have the opportunity to take that class as they venture through LCC. So hopefully that helps answer that question. I do not know how many students have been vaccinated. And I've got the second on Mr. Fletcher's birthday. I love that.
All right, I missed a word in there. We currently do not request the information in regards to the vaccinations. There's a lot of privacy rights that go into that. So schools are not requesting that information currently. So we would not know how many of our students have received the vaccinations or whose appointment might be on Mr. Fletz's birthday.
Yeah, but that does raise a good question because, as you look out into the world beyond schools there's talk about when you travel, are you going to have a vaccination card? Are you going to have X, Y, and Z? So all those things are so brand new. How they will impact schools in the future will be to be determined. So who knows? The world we live in now is much different. So these vaccinations, information cards or whatever is being cooked up out there may be a part of schools. We don't know that at this point, though. At this time, I have no knowledge of our district requiring students to be vaccinated to attend school in the fall. If that is the case, you guys will know firsthand, and I will be sure to communicate that. But I have not heard that at this time. While we are waiting for additional questions, I just want to encourage all of you and sharing with your neighbors and friends. Just make sure you are reading the e-news. That's where we try to capture a lot of our information and sharing it with our community. For our senior families, if you are a senior parent out there or senior parents, I did share there is a presentation next Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's about how to navigate raising like an adult, like your 17, 18-year-old moving on, leaving the nest, if you will. There's 2 great speakers who are going to be speaking. It's free. We'll put the link in our e-news as well. But today at SDA from, I think it's 3:30 to 5:30, if you go there, you can get, I think there's 2 books, excuse me, that are free, and you can go pick them up, and they're having a kind of drive through pick up. But the speakers will be next Tuesday and Wednesday, and I think the Wednesday session is geared towards senior students. So if your senior student wants some kind of tips and tricks and resources of how to navigate leaving parents as they go into the world of college or trade school or wherever they're going, there's a bunch of parents who've seen these presentations and speak highly of them. So take a look at it. It's just another resource for our families. But again, just monitor the e-news. That's where we like to share most of our information. Yes, we can drop that presentation in the chat. Dr. Coy, do you have access to that, the YouTube presentation?
Yeah, let me grab it really quick. It's going to take a couple seconds.
And yeah, thank you, Miss Carter. We'll put it in our e-news again today, just so that parents have access to it as well. Well, thank you all for the kind words. We appreciate just the LCC community. It's an amazing community. You as parents, we have amazing teachers, counselors. You know, I have an amazing administrative team. I just can't ask for more. And most of all, we have wonderful kids. And so go ahead and have a wonderful weekend. We appreciate you all attending with us. As always, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And then we'll hold another coffee next month with some more updates. Go Mavs.